Hi, my name's Heather and I've had one too. I've actually had two abortions. I'm 54 years old and my first one was in 1985 and my second one was in 1990. The first one I had only been going out with this guy for a few months. My decision was based on I didn't want to bring up a child on my own. It was also based on society's influence of, single women bringing up children. I was only about 25 at the time and I hadn't started my career and I wasn't ready at all. The second one, I was with a guy that I then went on to marry and be with for 22 years. And we've had 3 kids since. That relationship and that circumstance at the time was a lot more supportive than the first. From memory, they both were similar procedures. They were both in a medical practice and they were quite clinical, but kind of like both were this production line. You go into a room, you have the procedure, and then you come out, and then the next person comes in. You go through a grieving stage because I believe there was, it wasn't just a collection of cells, there was this fetus. And so you go through the grieving process of, have you done the right thing? And there is this person that you'll never know. And that stays with you. And you go back and you think, well, that person would be 25 years old and, how would they look and, how would that impact my life? There was definitely feelings of shame, especially because of my Catholic upbringing. I could not have talked about that with my parents and did not talk about that with my parents. I actually didn't talk about it with any of my friends also because they were, from a Catholic background too, and I didn't know how they react to me. I kind of thought that they might judge me and think, well, she's reckless. She didn't worry about going on the pill. It was the 1980s. It was all hush hush. A lot of people were having abortions. There was a lot of people going through each day at the abortion clinic, but it was something that wasn't talked about at all. I think it's important that abortion should be destigmatized in our society because I think it would bring about a more supportive environment for women. I think it's more the fact of just being able to be supportive for each other going through the procedure and also knowing other people's views. You kind of think people are judging you, but in fact you probably realise that they would be a lot more supportive and empathetic towards you. If one of my children came to me and said they were going to have an abortion, I would be initially I'd be very happy that they did come to me and talk to me about that. I would be supportive of them because having gone through that myself, I would want to go through the process with them and be as supportive as possible. But I'd make sure that they realise that it's not just having the procedure, grieving a little bit afterwards, and then that's it for the rest of your life, because you do always remember those potential beings that haven't come into the world.